I wonder if I can increase my light here. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. See my cracked phone in the view. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm going to try to make it so that I'm looking the same way for everybody. Hello, everyone. I know I'm late. Sorry. Y'all know I have these 3 children. And so sometimes I have one plan and it's something else with them. So I'm here now. Welcome. It seems like it's dark on YouTube and Facebook, but it looks bright on Instagram. Hello, Seeking Jesus 143. Hey. Hi, lady MLB. Welcome. Let's get to the chat over here for the Facebook and YouTube. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kia. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Tamika, Maria, Stephanie Watson. Hello, Angelia. Pretty. Hi, Diana. Hey, everybody. All right. So, I actually have 12. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Myla Bennett Powell. I am a plastic surgeon. I am a mom. I am in my 40s. I'm 45. And so I know people were in the comments saying like, oh, the solution is surgery. And honestly, obviously you can get surgery for belly fat. But I legitimately came on here to talk about the reasons we get belly fat. Because this is something that I'm struggling with myself as I'm reaching middle age. And so this is actually not a play for surgery patients. This is me legitimately trying to use my knowledge of medical things, and me researching these topics as a doctor is a little different than you researching it without having any type of medical background. And so basically some of the things that I am dealing with as I'm entering into this new phase of life, I am trying to learn and share with y'all. So yes, if you have a fat belly, you can get liposuction. But that is not necessarily the goal of this live stream. So we may not get to all the things tonight, and if it starts to run long, then we will do a part 2, because I actually have 12 things, but I think some of these things we can go through quicker than others. And so we'll just see where we land, because I'm not, it's late. I'm not gonna stay on here all night. But we can do another session that'll be just, a little shorter. I mean, to make it so that it's shorter, so the video is not 2 hours long. Okay. So belly fat. There are 2 types of fat that contribute to your belly. And we've talked about this before. You have visceral fat, which is the fat that is around your organs. That's actually in your abdominal cavity. The abdominal cavity is where your organs are. And then there's extra abdominal fat, which is the fat that's on top of your muscles. So you guys have seen me draw this picture before if you've been following me for a while, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it again, just so that we all have a point of reference for the rest of the talk. Okay. So this picture is very basic, but here we go. Imagine that you are laying on a table and somebody cuts you with a guillotine. So this is a cross section of a person's abdomen. So this outer layer is your skin. Then this white layer is your extra abdominal fat. This is your muscles. This is the muscles that make up your 6-pack. So this is a muscle layer. And then inside of here, these little circles represent organs. So this is your abdominal cavity. Little Myla Rose, aren't you supposed to be in the bed?
Mommy, I can't sleep.
Why? Because mommy's talking too much? Okay, go lay down. You can close the door.
Some people let me sleep.
What won't let you sleep? Okay, just go lay down. Go ahead. Okay. These represent organs. Okay. So the intra-abdominal cavity is here. This white is where the fat would be. The fat is literally around the organs. This would represent visceral fat inside of here. This is extra abdominal fat. The fat in this compartment, the intra-abdominal fat, is the fat that is most responsible for things like diabetes, heart disease, stuff like that. That fat around your organs is the fat that makes you have the metabolic issues that can cause you problems from being overweight. The extra abdominal fat, which is the fat that's on top of your muscles, between your skin and your muscles. This fat is not, it's not cute, but this is not really the fat that's making you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, that kind of stuff. It's this fat in here, in this region. Okay. So when you get liposuction or any type of surgical procedure, we're working on this fat. The surgery procedures that can work on this fat are bariatric surgeries like gastric bypass, gastric sleeve, that kind of stuff. And the way it makes you lose this fat is not by cutting this fat out, it's by rerouting your gut or shrinking your stomach so that you just lose weight. Weight loss is how you lose this visceral fat, losing weight. Now, the things we're going to go over today as causes for gaining weight, it contributes to both extra abdominal and visceral fat. The first one that I want to go over is basically diet, like sugary foods that are high in carbohydrates or sugar. Those things are going to lead to you having extra fat deposited in both compartments, in your visceral fat region and in your extra abdominal fat region. Sugary foods, high carbohydrate foods, those are all going to contribute to weight gain, fat depositing everywhere, not just in one area. That's an obvious thing that we all know. You didn't have to come on this video to know that if you eat a bunch of sugary foods, you're gonna gain weight. Okay, and you gain weight everywhere. Alcohol actually specifically causes you to have increased fat in your visceral compartment, in the abdominal compartment. It leads to it's high in calories, high in sugar, but it also alters your hormones. It leads to an increase in your cortisol levels, and cortisol, that hormone specifically, leads to fat being deposited in the visceral fat region. So this is going to lead to fatty organs and fatty liver. Okay, so you can't fix that with surgery. You need to cut back on alcohol for that to start to improve. If you continue to, that's how you will see people who are alcoholics and they may be skinny everywhere, but their belly sticks out and their belly is hard. You can't pinch the fat on their belly when they have a beer belly, because all the fat is actually behind the muscles. So in a person with a beer belly, this is thin. They don't have this thick fat layer. It'll be a thin fat layer. And so you can't pinch it. It's not pinchable because the fat is back here, right? So that's where alcohol makes you deposit fat. It leads to more fat being deposited around the organ. So it's going to lead to the metabolic things that cause us issues. And it's going to lead you to having an unhealthy liver. Okay. Trans fats are the unhealthy fats, and those fats are going to be found in processed foods and stuff like that, and that's going to lead to visceral fat deposit. That's going to lead to fat around the organs. So processed foods kind of fits into a few categories of the things that I'm going to talk about. And one of those things that I just recently learned about a few months ago is endocrine disruptors. So foods that are packaged in plastic and cans, they have different chemicals in them in the containers. One of which is called BPAs, and that leads you to make they're called like they the nickname for it is chemical calories, but it leads you to, it throws off your hormones to the point where you end up making having fat deposit in your visceral compartment. So simply, so you could be following a low calorie diet, but if it's a lot of canned goods or food packaged in plastic, you may not lose weight. And you know, I went through this once when I was doing, this was years ago. This was like before I had kids. And I was doing a diet and I was using lean cuisines, trying to lose weight, right? And I was only eating like maybe 750 calories a day. And I wasn't really losing weight. And it never made sense to me. And people are like, oh, maybe it's the sodium. Well, sodium doesn't really gain weight. It just make you gain fat. It makes you gain water from the sodium. So that didn't really make a lot of sense because I was drinking water. It would have flushed it. But now, knowing what I know now, those things are packaged in plastic. So if you're having a diet that's like, if I was eating one meal or something, I was trying to make a diet based off of those meals totally, because I knew exactly what the calorie count was. I was super busy. And so I was like, I'll just do lean cuisines for my meals. And, that way I know I'm only getting this many calories, and it wasn't really working. And that is because of these things called BPAs that is in the plastic that's in the containers. And so this stuff is actually making you gain weight because it's throwing your hormones all off, making you gain weight in the middle. It's making you gain weight in your abdomen. I was really floored when I realized that was so. Like last month, I was this was about a month ago, and I was in the grocery store, and you guys know I love my crock pot, and I'm always cooking things in the crock pot. But it also sucks to clean a crock pot. Like, I'm like, ugh. So I hear about these crock pot liners, and I'm like, oh, that'll make my life easier. I won't have to wash this crock pot. It'll be so much easier to clean the crock pot. So I was in the grocery store and I saw the crock pot liners, and I was like, I grabbed them to buy them. And when I grabbed them, I literally got a check in my spirit, like, put it down. I'm like, what? And so I look at it, I'm thinking like, this is plastic. It's plastic, right? So we're gonna put the liner in the crock pot and cook our food in that plastic liner for 10 hours. I was like, I just slid it back on the shelf, like, oops. It's a lot of these things that are shortcuts or conveniences that were actually being set up to fail, even though it seems easier, but it's not good for us. So shortcuts, especially in the name of when it comes to food, there's things in there that you're not aware of that could be leading to some of the issues you have. Also, the BPAs, so you'll see stuff on some of the things with plastic, and they'll be like, oh, it's BPA free. So then you're like, oh, it don't have the BPA in it. Well, apparently the BPA free things have other chemicals in them that mimic estrogens. It's just no good. It's just no good. So and so many things are packaged in plastic. I mean, think about it. Bottled water. So many things are packaged in plastic. Yep, bottled water. Winter Whitehorn just said that at the same time I said it. So many things are packaged in plastic. Yes. It's like so much of the, like, it's just unhealthy things is infused in our culture. So all the ways that you can reduce these things is important. So you don't want to you don't want to buy food that was stored in plastic containers. You want to really be careful of that and lose the oven liners. I mean, lose the crock pot liners. A sedentary lifestyle. We know this. If you don't exercise, you're not moving around, you're clearly going to gain more weight. And you won't just gain it in the middle, you'll actually gain that weight everywhere. But the middle will clearly, obviously, be affected. What about bagged lettuce? What about Doc's meals? What's Doc's meals? I mean, it's plastic, y'all. Everything's in plastic. She said, I've resolved to eat just air. I don't know about aluminum foil. I think it's the cans. I don't know that it's the foil. I think it's the cans. It's specifically canned goods because it's stuff in there. They're trying to preserve the food some kind of way. I don't think it's foil, but I'm not sure. So what can we do? Well, some of these things that I'm mentioning, like if you like don't do it. That's what we can do. The plastic is harder. So I would the plastic is harder because literally like everything is in plastic. What about the rubber container with plastic lids? Yeah, I'm not sure. So listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all, go and look into this stuff yourself. Go see. Look up rubber containers with plastic lids. Are those safe to look it up? Let me know what you find. Put it in the comments. I don't know. I know the food that is sold to you in plastic is what you want to be leery of. Okay. What about that? What is your take on that drug Moderna? I don't know about Moderna. I know about semaglutide. But I don't know what Moderna is. I haven't heard about that one. It is a challenge, Zen Zapata. It really is. So here's how I'm gonna approach it. Like, okay, I still have bottled water. I still have, I still even have some canned goods in my cabinet. I'm not gonna buy any more canned goods. That I don't really see myself doing. Um, I'm working on things like start with one thing at a time. Start with one thing at a time and get it out of your life, and then once you get the hang of that, pick another thing and start working on that. Like that's the best thing. You get overwhelmed if you try to change all these things on this list on the same day. Like it's not really gonna work. So you're gonna start checking off one thing at a time. Do less processed foods. If you don't, you can buy lettuce and chop up your own salad. Somebody was like, what about bag salad? Get what frozen vegetables, buy the fresh vegetables. I mean, these are some of these things we really can. The bottled water is a hard one. I don't know how, I ain't figured out how to overcome that one yet. There's the only water that comes in a glass bottle, I think, is what, like Voss water, or is that even not even glass anymore? But I don't have an answer for that bottled water situation. But there's so many other areas where we can cut it. The truth of the matter is, if you're taking in all of these things, that have this stuff in there that's making your belly fat, this is why we're walking around looking pregnant when we're not. So if we start cutting down on just kind of checking away at the stuff bit by bit, like that, I think that will help and reduce these things in your diet as much as possible. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed trying to change everything all at the same time. You'll quit and not do nothing. Okay, don't get overwhelmed. But I'm just letting you know, from a processed food standpoint, processed food, you want to really reduce processed food in your life. My grandma used to boil her drinking water and keep it in glass containers. Yep. See, that's a good idea. They have some bottled spring water from Georgia. Yeah. So I mean, I don't have the answers for everything on here because I'm learning this stuff too. But I want to make you aware, and you can, if it matters to you, you can go and figure it out. We all smart here. Okay. All right. Good night, Faith and Carm. So a low protein diet is number 5. So a low, I kind of skipped. Endocrine disruptors was supposed to be number 12. So I kind of went out of order because I got excited about endocrine disruptors. That was the one that really oh, there's something else in the endocrine disruptors category. Okay, hormone fed meats. So the hormone when the animals are fed these different synthetic hormones, they end up leading to increase in those, you end up with those synthetic hormones floating through your blood, and they lead to obesity. They lead to obesity. So you want to get like meats that are the animals have not been fed all these different hormones. So that's another one. Hormone fed meats. Low protein diet, also found at sprouts, spring water, and steel containers. Okay. All right. A low protein diet actually leads to increased belly fat, or increase, like, makes your belly stick out. So when you see images of those kids like in the third world countries or the really poor African countries, and they're real skinny and their bellies stick out real far, that's called kwashiorkor. Those kids are eating, they're not getting protein in their diet, they're getting a bunch of carbohydrates and no protein. That leads to your belly being like that. So you want to have a balanced diet. You want to have a balanced diet. Sean Wade said, whoever said they're going to stick to air, I'm going to join them. Yeah, it's kind of like, people don't realize the lengths the enemy has gone through to destroy us. And we're lazy. So all the shortcuts, basically what we're trying to figure out is how to remove all these shortcuts from our lives. Yes, baby girl. Aren't you supposed to be asleep, little girl? How did you come from that way? I thought you were in the bed that way. Did y'all see her walk by me? I missed it. Say hi.
Hi.
That's YouTube and Facebook, and that's Instagram. All right, let mommy finish the video. Go. I want you to go lay down, Myla. You're going to be sleepy in the morning. Oh, you saw her walk by, Sean Way? I didn't even know she had walked by. Everybody saw her but me. Everybody said hi, Myla Rose. Hi. She said hi. I'm looking at more research. Saw the other day scientists were saying need to get the mRNA numbers up, and we'll be giving the livestock and chickens these shots. Exactly. It's not good. Now, why would we want to get the numbers up when all these people are having adverse consequences of getting that mRNA thing put into them? Why would we want to do that? Like someone said, we need to get the government to do it. The government is part of the problem, honey. That's the last. Let me stop talking about that before they take my videos down. I'm not going to fall into that trap. Listen, when you have the knowledge, you can start to do things yourself to keep you and your family safe and in the best health instead of waiting on the government to do it, because that's not going to happen. Okay. So let's just own our own stuff and be responsible for our own selves and our own families. I am a plastic surgeon, Demetrius. I'm a plastic surgeon. Oh, nice. You guys hunt black cherry 57? That's so good. I brought a bunch of fruits that I had to pour hot water over to get the waxy chemicals off. So another good way to get the waxy chemicals off of your fruit and vegetables is a water, salt, and vinegar mixture and let it sit in there and it'll get the wax off. So that's one um, hack for getting that whatever that waxy is that they have on all the fruit and vegetables. The other hack is to grow your own fruit and vegetables. I don't like fake meat, but it sounds like vegan is almost the way to go. Never, I'm not doing vegan, not doing that. Because guess what? We just were talking about all of the crap they put on the fruit and vegetables. Just because you're vegan does, but like, don't get me started on that whole vegan thing. If you're vegan, cool. But vegans are not necessarily healthier. That is so not true. They eat so many science projects. Like all of these, yeah, that's not necessarily. They're eating all this stuff saying it's not meat, but it's something else made in the lab. Now, if you're just like a raw vegan where all you're eating is vegetables or something, that's cool. But the vegans I know, they eat that stuff and then they eat the things in the freezer section that's like the fake hot dogs and the fake this and the fake that. I'm like, these people are eating that Impossible Burger. That is totally a science project. Like you're eating meat that they made in the lab, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then fruit with no seeds now, right? Yeah. So just because it's a vegetable does not mean that they didn't get their hands on it to jack you up with it. It's hard to grow your own fruits and vegetables in El Paso, but you can go to the farmer's market. The vegans I know eat mac and cheese. A lot of the vegan stuff has additives and sodium. That's what I'm saying. Everybody thinks, right. Somebody said plant-based, I think is better. And that's for you can believe that if you like, and that's fine. Right. But somebody said raw vegan is good. Raw vegan is probably, pretty, cool. But humans were designed to eat meat. So I'm not telling people not to eat meat. That's not what I'm saying at all. If you don't want to eat meat, that's cool. But I'm not telling people not to eat meat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't eat meat where they fed them crazy hormones. That's what I said. Yeah. And vegetarian and vegan are two different things. Vegetarian meat is an oxymoron. If it's vegetarian, it's not meat. So if they made you a fake meat in the lab, then that's what I'm saying. Lots of vegans are eating very unhealthy. I know that's what I was saying. Vegan is not better. It's just different. The Lord had the ravens bringing Elijah meat and bread to keep him sustained. He was bringing him meat and bread. It's not right. Everything in moderation. Right. Humans. If people who are vegan, not vegetarian, vegan, they have to have a supplement of B12. The only naturally occurring sources of B12 come from animal product. So if God wanted us to be vegan, he wouldn't have made it that way. If your diet requires you to have some supplement from GNC to stay healthy, then maybe we're doing too much. I'm just saying. So, but I don't want this to turn into a vegan or not. If you're vegan, cool, I get it. But I'm not telling anybody to be vegan. I'm just saying don't eat meat with hormones in it. Just like I'm gonna tell the vegans don't eat the vegetables with the wax that they put on there that's jacking people up. And you might not want to eat fruit that don't have seeds if you can avoid it. But it's kind of hard to avoid that now. Right. If you're eating dairy, then you're getting B12. So, okay. So that we went on a tangent with that one, but that was a good discussion. Vegan, vegetarian, carnivores, all good. Just Pay attention. If you're eating a vegetable diet, get all of that waxy crap off that they got stuck on the vegetables. And one hack to do that is a water, vinegar, salt mixture, and let it soak in there, and then you can wipe it off. Um, and if you eat meat, then you want to try to avoid the meats where they're giving them hormones. Okay. Next on the list, menopause. Okay, I haven't reached menopause yet, but you know, I'm closer to menopause than I am to when I started having ain't flow. So this is something that a lot of the women who I see and my peers are beginning to deal with. And menopause, when you go through menopause, your hormones completely change. And one of the unwanted side effects of that is weight gain in the midsection around the organs. And that's from the hormone changes. Okay, so that's another one. Number 7, your gut bacteria, your gut flora. So the bacteria that live in your gut is off balance. And so this is why you hear people talking about probiotics and encourage you to take probiotics. Probiotics help you get your the gut environment optimized to make you have healthy digestion, clear toxins out of your body and keep toxins from building up. Like your mind is clearer when your gut is healthy. Like literally your gut affects everything. And certainly if your gut flora is off, your digestion will be off. That could absolutely lead to more belly fat. Stress and cortisol. So stress leads to increased cortisol, which is a hormone that leads to belly fat deposition. So if you have a high stress life and you're not good at managing it, what type of probiotic should we take? So I take a probiotic. You can actually I'm also right now researching how to make a probiotic. Look up. So the probiotic that I'm currently taking. Sorry, y'all. I'm going back to number 7 before I get into number 8. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for complimenting my skin. The probiotic that I take is downstairs. I just did the video up here. It's called Trebiotic. It's with the company that I sell the collagen through. I think it's in my bio. I think the link is in my bio for the Trebiotic. But if it's not, when I get off this video, I'll put it in there. There are yogurts that have probiotics in it. The probiotic that I use is a Trebiotic. It has a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic. It is really, really good. But I have just recently, I've just been trying to learn how to make my own stuff. So I've been researching how to make homemade probiotic. So I have not done that yet. I'm just researching. When I do it and I take it and I don't get sick from it, which means then I can tell y'all what I did and I'll let you know about how to do it. I'm just trying to do so much stuff more naturally because I just see how much of our food supply has been contaminated on purpose. And I would like to make as much stuff on my own as I can. Yes, I take my probiotic daily. I don't think you need to take digestive enzymes unless you have an issue with your digestion and your doctor tells you to. That's not something I would just take because our bodies make enzymes just fine. So that's my I'm not a gastroenterologist, but I don't remember people just routinely telling people to just take digestive enzymes. If your gut, for the most part is working normally, you shouldn't need that. Good night, Winter Whitehorn. Okay. So I think I'm going to stop here. And we'll pick up with stress cortisol. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. If I do it tomorrow, it'll be 10 o'clock or later because we won't get home probably until 9:30. Your gallbladder doesn't make enzymes. Patty Martin, your gallbladder stores bile. So even though your gallbladder's been removed, it just means you can't really store bile, but that's not where it's made. So I don't even think that your gallbladder being removed means that you need digestive enzymes because that's not where the enzymes are made. So yes, I will. If I come on tomorrow, it's going to be 10 or 10:30. Okay, that's why if your gastroenterologist suggested you take it, then you take it. But that's not something that I would just routinely tell people to take digestive enzymes. If you have a gastroenterologist, a person who has a gastroenterologist, that you got stuff going on that everybody else don't. Because a normal, if everything's working normally, you don't have a or like just regular people don't have a gastroenterologist. So I do not take care credit. You're welcome. All right, so we're going to stop here and we will pick up with stress and cortisol tomorrow. Okay? Any last minute questions before I get off? And I will mention for anybody that's not on the email list, we actually do have a special runner for liposuction this week. So if that's something you're interested in, call the office tomorrow. The office number is 678-325-0006. 678-325-0006. All right, and I will put the Trebiotic in my bio, in the link in my bio. All right. All right, y'all have a good night. I love y'all. Bye.